Who is better, Jimmy or Cousins, in your opinion? Oh, man. Look, the reason I've been consistent with this, I've said this since the playoffs. Cousins. Doesn't mean that Jimmy won't pass him, because Jimmy's going like this, and Cousins has been like this for a long time. But Cousins has started a lot of games in the NFL. Cousins is my age. Cousins is a pro. Cousins has seen a lot. He's not great. And if you're paying him $27 million a year, you have zero chance to win the Super Bowl. Zero. But he can read a defense. He commits fewer turnovers. He makes less mistakes. Jimmy should pass Kirk Cousins. But remember, Jimmy has fewer starts than Baker Mayfield. He still needs experience. And his arrow has been up the entire time in the NFL. I would expect it to keep going up. I don't know how gradually or how steep his incline will be, but I still think he has a ways to go. And if you don't agree with me, I think Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh would listen to the things, go back and listen to their press conference before the playoff game against the Cousins. There's things they said about Cousins. He's a pro. He's one of the best in the league. The Vikings are lucky to have him. He always makes the right read. He always makes the right decision on the field. Those are things that people can't say about Jimmy yet. It's things you can't say about any inexperienced quarterback. Even Patrick Mahomes, you can't say that stuff about. He makes some bad decisions sometimes. Kirk is very polished. He's not going to win a Super Bowl ever in his whole life, and maybe Jimmy will. So now Kirk, maybe in 3 months, Jimmy, if that's fair. Nah, Cousins' toughness is real. He stands tall. He just fumbles. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I feel. Okay. Let's see. Stop it. Who are we talking about? Hey, look, you guys ask me my opinion. I'm always going to give you my unfiltered opinion, and I don't expect you to agree with me. I'm not trying to change your mind. I think if we were in a bar, we would just be having a fun conversation. And I think it's interesting for someone in the conversation to have an opinion that you haven't heard a million times. Something that makes you think. So I like to be the person that makes you think, but not necessarily the person that changes your mind. Stick to your convictions, but be open-minded and consider other things. That's what I come in for. Or I'm just the guy you love to hate. Either way, I could be the heel in WWF. I could be Bret the Hitman Hart, basically. Someone saying Kirk hits that throw to Sanders all day, dude. Kirk throws a beautiful deep ball. Beautiful deep ball. Thing about Kirk Cousins, people hate on him because they watch him. I don't know. Go on, watch his highlights. Just watch his highlights from any year. He will make 25 to 30 throws where you're like, ooh, that was a really nice throw. That was really nice. Like, he threw that ball 50 yards down the field and hit a guy in a small window in between. Like, wow, in stride. He does that a lot. He's just kind of goofy looking. His face, he's got a little Eli Manning face going on. He doesn't look like the cool kid in high school, and the quarterback's supposed to be the cool kid in high school. But he'll make these throws like, damn, Kirk, wow. Jimmy really doesn't. Like, you watch Jimmy's highlights, you kind of have to know the context of the game. It's like, well, that throw there, that was 3rd and 7. So that 8-yard throw didn't look like much, but it was 3rd and 7. It's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That was a really nice throw, Jimmy. That was a really nice throw. Like, Jimmy, you be watching Jimmy's highlights and just you'd be like, oh, that's a golf clap for Jimmy. That's a nice little touch throw on that 16-yard one. But for Kirk, it's like, oh, yeah, that's a beautiful downfield throw. Jimmy has not made one throw where I've been like, wow, only Jimmy could do that. Not my whole life. But you know what? You don't have to. You don't have to. Tom Brady hasn't either. Tom Brady is not a wow throw kind of guy. What am I talking about? Leo says Kirk doesn't make that throw to Emmanuel because it was a high-pressure moment. All I would say is this is that Kirk Cousins slander, and I think it's because of his face. I really do. He hit the throw in New Orleans the week before. That was highly pressurized. They were in the Superdome. Was it tied? He hit the throw down the field. They won the game. He also hit the throw in the end zone to the tight end, Kyle Rudolph. He was money in that game. He outplayed Drew Brees. He was clutch. And then, yeah, the Niners, they lost to the Niners the next week, but that was a scheduled loss. That was the second road game in a row. The team had nothing. They couldn't even stop the run. They came out flat. Hard to put it all on the quarterback, although he didn't play well either. But I thought Kirk was just I mean, that was a 10-point. They were 10-point dogs, I believe, against the Saints, and they won that game because he made some clutch throws. So, still, my position is you should not be paying quarterbacks money. There's too many good ones in the league. There's too many good ones in college football. You should not be paying Kirk. You should not be paying Jimmy. You should not be paying Dak. You should not be paying Russ. You should not be paying Mahomes. None of them. The market is crazy. The tight end market's too low. The quarterback market's too high. That's my word. And I saw someone like echoing all of my points. Some guy on Twitter who has a podcast that gets more listeners than me was like, made every single point that I made. And Eric Crocker pointed out, I was like, wait a second. I'm suing. Sir, whoever you are. You capping. Tom makes tons of wow throws. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. He does. But Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy didn't have to go into overtime to beat the Saints. Yeah, well, Jimmy won the game by throwing a 0-yard pass to George Kittle, who then carried 4 people down the field. So that's what happened.